Hello friends, welcome to Health, Music and Fitness channel. Today we'll discuss a simple ECG, and this ECG contains all the findings which you should be able to pick up because all these topics we have so far discussed in the previous videos. So first you analyze the ECG, look at the calibration. The calibration is normal, is 10 small squares in height and a flat plateau, and then it's coming down. So that's the calibration. The importance of calibration you know already, because if the calibration is 5 instead of 10, then it means that the ECG machine has halved the height of the R waves. So if the calibration is 5 small squares in height and R wave is one big square, it means R wave is actually two big squares in height. So that's the importance. Then you look at the rate, rhythm and axis. Rate is normal sinus, it's a normal sinus rhythm, and it's arising from the SC node. There is a P wave, these are the P waves, and it's a normal sinus rhythm. When you say normal sinus rhythm, every P wave is a normal looking P wave and it is followed by a QRS complex, and after that there is a T wave. And always remember, T follows R. If there is a tall R, there should be a good amplitude T wave also. If there is a tall R and it's not followed by a tall T, it could mean it's a first sign of ischemia or some other abnormality because of some electrolyte abnormality or some other arrhythmia. Then you see the axis. In this, look at lead 1 and AVF, and it's a left axis deviation. Okay, when you say lead 1 is positive, it means the total number of small squares. When you say lead 1 is positive, it means R is taller than the S wave in lead 1, and in AVF is a reverse of it. So lead 1 is positive, AVF is negative. So the quadrant in which the axis will fall is from 0 degree to minus 90 degree. So like out here. Okay, so this is left axis deviation. Okay, so we'll continue. So it's a left axis deviation. We'll come to the details of this axis deviation later on. Then rate you have to calculate. So see the number of big squares between two RR intervals. So out here it is 1, 2, 3, 4, almost 5. Fifth square is also full. So 300 divided by 5. So heart rate is around 60. You can memorize this. So heart rate is around 60 beats per minute. Okay. So rate we have discussed, rhythm, axis. So now we will discuss why there is a left axis deviation. So once you have seen there is a left axis deviation, you have to look at the duration of the QRS complex. So if QRS complex is normal in duration, that is, it is less than 3 small squares in width, that means the rhythm is not arising in the ventricles. It also means there is no left bundle branch block and there is no right bundle branch block. So that's the importance of the QRS complex being broad or not broad. If it now in this ECG you see QRS is of normal duration, so there is an abnormality, but it's not LBB or a RBB or a ventricular rhythm. Now there is a left axis deviation, so right bundle branch block is out. Right bundle branch block will cause right axis deviation, and LBB and left anterior hemiblock, these two will cause LAD, left axis deviation. Now QRS is normal duration, there is no LBB, so it's a LAHB. So for left anterior hemiblock to happen, and the ECG finding will be there will be deep S waves in lead 2 and 3 also. along with a left excitation and a normal duration QRS complex. So all these things you can see in this ECG. So it's a left anterior hemiblock. Now we come to leads V1 to V6. You look in leads V1, V6. So there is a Q wave, there is no R wave, Q. So V2, V3, there are Q waves. V4, you can in fact see there is coving in V4. It is still there. V5 also coving is there, T is inverted. Here also T is inverted. Here also there is coving, T inverted. And there is ST depression out here. So these are subtle things which you have to pick up. Out here the T is becoming almost biphasic, okay, in V2, V3, little bit in V1. So this is Whelan sign. It's a sign of a high LAD block. So this patient has recently had an anterior wall MI, extensive anterior wall MI, because if you look in lead 1, I said T follows R. R is okay, but there is no T. T is flat. So there is ischemia out here, and in this patient's previous ECG, there was slight coving out here also. I couldn't get the ECG, and just to prove that this was it's right what I was saying, you look in lead AVL. Out here there is still coving. You have to be so good that you can pick up this coving. Okay, if you wait for coving and ST elevation to rise to 2 millimeter or more, by that time lot of damage has occurred. So you have to pick up this coving and ST elevation or ST depression at this point. So to summarize, it's a normal sinus rhythm, and patient has extensive anterior wall MI. You can say recent anterior wall MI, and this patient will require coronary angiogram, and after that we'll decide whether he has to be stented or open heart surgery has to be done. So guys, this was all in this ECG, and if you like our videos, please do subscribe, hit the like button, and comment. And if you want any videos to be made on any of these topics, please do write in the comment box. I'll try to make them. Thank you.